get wild. How a power suit can ruin your life. Red hair, one stare, and suddenly you're rewatching X-Files every night. Gillian said, trust no man. Kate said, try women instead. She wasn't out, but my heart was in. Rachel with a sword, that was my origin. Ain't it strange how the canon forgot all the tension, all the heat, all the looks? We saw it, we felt it, we paused it, we yelled it. She saved the world, but wrecked our brain. She raised the dead and sparked our flame. She wasn't loud, but she was loud, and I was saying it proud. That's so Sapphic.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of That's So Sapphic.
I'm Alexi Melvin.
And I'm Jane Postlethwaite. And we're very excited for this kind of first official episode. We are going to be delving deep into one of our favourite people, Gillian Anderson.
Probably the most requested. How am I feeling? I'm feeling ready. I'm feeling ready for this. It feels correct. It feels like the starting point that makes the most sense. I don't know how we're going to like top ourselves after this, but we might. I think, you know, we have much more to discuss. Who knows how many different parts this is going to be.
Yeah, this is going to be 74-parter.
Yes. It's never ending.
It'll just spanning 20 years. No, I feel like all our lives have been leading up to this moment of talking about. So we had to start somewhere. So we've gone for the Dana Scully effect.
Yes, that is where it all began.
That's where it all began with the X-Files. 1993, I believe it was September the 10th. So I would have been 11. How old are you?
Oh gosh, how old would I have been? Let's see. I would have been maybe 4 or 5.
I don't think maybe Alexi was waiting up to watch X-Files. Or maybe you were. You probably had a TV in your room like I did. Yeah.
To be honest, my mom let me watch pretty much whatever, just from an early age. Like I saw Phantom of the Opera on stage for the first time when I was 3. She would show me like, you know, like I watched movie musicals and stuff. I watched basically, she didn't mind. Like, if I wanted to watch things with her, I would watch them. So I feel like, I was probably like 5, 6, 7 when I remember watching the X-Files for the first time, because my mom was obsessed. Like, she loved sort of the paranormal shows, and that was one of the only ones. Like, I can't really think of any other fiction, narrative TV shows that like really kind of. Can you? Like, was there anything else around then?
No, I mean, it was so different and unique for its time. Mm-hmm. So, in the 80s, even like early 90s, if you wanted to find out anything about that, the internet wasn't around. So you had to go to the library and get a book out about ghosts. Or
I really hope the Gen Zs are listening right now. This is what it was like.
I've actually got a book on my bookshelf. I'm going to drag it. This is The World of the Unknown Ghosts. This was the book from like the 70s. I'll put the picture on the Instagram. And this had all the different types of ghosts. So, people would go and rent this book out or buy it from the school sale. Did you have school sale? Were you too young for that?
No, I totally did. Yeah, totally.
Oh, it was my favorite time.
It was so much fun.
And I think I was already reading Point Horror, which was like a children's teenage series about kind of horror and even murders and things like that. Mm-hmm. And as we talked about in our pilot episode, Nancy Drew has little bits of, ghosty
bits definitely in. Did. Yep.
And then as kids we had Scooby-Doo as well.
We did have Scooby-Doo, but as far as like, shows for grown-ups that were, paranormal center. Yeah, there wasn't much to choose from.
Strange But True was another one. And then there was a Roald Dahl one, Tales of the Unexpected. That was in the UK in like the 70s, 80s, I think. But nothing paranormal, Bigfoot, UFOs.
Yeah.
So Yeah, it was so different. And also to have a man and a woman as the
Yes.
leads.
Yeah, that was kind of groundbreaking back then, and which is sort of what led to the Scully effect, because nobody was seeing a lead woman, a lead female character that had just as much sort of agency as the male character, and kind of just like didn't give a fuck. Like she just, she was like, she wasn't trying to perform or satisfy the male gaze whatsoever. Like it was such a different character.
I mean, they did do her dirty on her wardrobe in series 1. I went back to watch the first ever
Did they?
episode.
In what way?
So she was 24 years old when she was in the role, but they
Yeah.
kind of dressed her like a middle-aged lady. She has a huge blazer on, which I would wear now. I would wear that, which is a great.
It's back in style.
Checky. It's back in style, but because of her proportions, this jacket's very long in the body, and then they put her in little skirts to begin with. I think they moved her on to the trouser suit because they did a lot of running. But yeah, she looks very petite in that first episode with the big blazer. It's kind of a little bit shoulder pads, with
definitely when I think of Dana Scully, I do think of shoulder pads, which I don't hate. They're back in style now, but I do know what you mean. I wonder if she looks back on that and is like, oh Lord.
I think I've seen interviews where she does.
She does, yeah, because now it's like I'll talk about my sort of trajectory with Gillian Anderson more in a bit, but I didn't really sort of like have the feelings that I have for her until a little after X-Files, right? So I wasn't really used to, like, those proportions did sort of that they dressed her in, and made her seem smaller, which she is. She's short. She's a shorter person, but I was used to seeing her dressed differently, that kind of like she has the proportions of a taller person. She's giving tall energy. So before I, wound up meeting her, like, which again, I'll talk about later, I was like,
definitely.
I was like, oh my God, like she's shorter and I'm very tall. So I was trying to like prepare myself, because I, for some reason, for years thought that she was like kind of tall. So I had to adjust my expectations.
If you're listening, we are very tall ladies.
Yeah.
I think in our shoes we'll be like 6'1" sometimes. Yeah. I mean, there is a Pinterest board. If you are curious about Dana Scully's outfits, there is several Pinterest boards of Dana Scully suits.
I'm sure.
And I have looked at all of them.
Not surprised.
But yeah, the Dana Scully effect was, if you've never heard of it, it's apparently 50% of women that watched the X-Files in the 90s got into STEM. So STEM is science, technology, engineering, and math. And I'm guessing the other 50% are now gay. I don't know.
That has to be the math. That is lesbian math.
Yeah. Doing the sums, that seems correct. The other thing as well, she had... Oh, is she a natural redhead? Do we know?
I think she's a natural blonde. I think she's a natural blonde, because she's never been a redhead again. Like, I guess we can Google it. But I think she is a natural blonde. She did go back to the red when they did the reboot, obviously, of X-Files.
Yeah.
But,
so she had this red hair. She had a very kind of brown, purpley lip. And in the 90s in the UK, we had a brand of makeup called Rimmel. And Rimmel did Heather Shimmer. And every teenage girl in the UK in the 90s wore Heather Shimmer. And that's what Dana Scully kind of has. And I remember as well, there was some of those shampoos that weren't hair dye, but they were tints. So for a while, we all had like a chestnutty, gingery tint. And I also think that might be a bit of the Dana Scully effect. I'm
sure. Also, I just Googled it. She's not a natural redhead. She's actually a brunette naturally. And so she dyed her hair red during the original series run. And then for the reboot, the revival, she wore a wig.
Oh.
Yeah.
Giving you facts, listeners.
Yeah. We know you were wondering, please.
Yeah. Now you know. And there will be a test at the end.
There will be a test.
Yeah, because I thought I'll rewatch the first episode and see. And she does have, I think she is the first character that we see. It's very almost Silence of the Lambs, where we're seeing Jodie Foster run. So
Yeah.
we kind of follow Dana Scully into the episode, and she's surrounded by men. It's very well directed in terms of status as well. So I think that's why she looks smaller, because you've got these men, and especially when she's having an interview and being told you're going to be working with Fox.
Mm-hmm.
There's the smoking man is in there, and he's kind of stood, and then she's on a big chair. So it's I thought it was very interesting how the directors kind of did that, and then we walk through her eyes into the episode. So it's quite curious as well whether the characters were written equally or whether Fox Mulder was supposed to be the lead.
Mm-hmm.
I've always seen them as the same.
I think most people do.
I wonder if they did write them kind of equally. And she's very stern in the first one as well. I think I watched an interview lately where she said Scully kind of did a lot of eye rolling in the first few seasons.
Yes.
Which I'm 100% for. I love an eye roll. And she does.
Yeah. Everybody who has an RBF felt very seen by Dana Scully. Same. Like I just have like a resting, I don't want to call it a resting bitch face. Like it can be, but it's just a resting face. It's like, I'm not easily impressed, especially if you're a dude, you know, like
you and me both.
Yeah. Like I'm not going to try to pretend that I'm impressed by you. I'm just here to do my job.
Yeah, and she was good. I mean, I don't know. I think she's supposed to be 28, 29, the character, but she was 24 when she did it, as I said.
Oh, wow.
So
okay.
For someone that young, and also what kind of annoyed me in the first episode and the second one is she does all the work. She does all the work. At the end of the day, she has to write up a report. Throughout the day, she's having to analyze samples. They're like, oh, can you just go and cut this person open and do an autopsy? She has to get on it. She never has a minute for herself. You never see her just sat with a coffee or having a sandwich.
And I'm sure Mulder does. I'm sure he has his chill moments.
Yeah, he's just leaning against things and brooding and
yeah, that's what I seem to remember. And it's like, so that is as, you know, ahead of its time as it was. Like there was still, you know, that's very the patriarchy, right? Like the woman is going to do all the hard work, of course. Like they're going to do, you know, she's going to go and do the inconvenient things. It's very like, you know, she still has like they're regarding her almost as like a secretary, even though she's like the same status.
Because nearly at the end of every episode, she's there like almost like Carrie out of Sex and the City.
Yes.
It's like, do, and we found blah, blah, blah.
But at the same time, we know that she's the only capable one. Like we know that she's
running the show.
She's running the show. Like she's not, even if they didn't mean for it to come across that way and they did want us to think like, oh, the woman does all the work. No, she's just more capable. We know what's up.
You have a favorite X-Files episode?
Not really. Let me think about that. There's a couple of them that stuck with me more than the others. You go first. Let me mull it over.
Yeah, Mulder it over.
Mulder it over.
I really like the episodes for the standalone episodes, meaning there was no real backstory to them. They were just one of a kind.
Right.
That really appealed to me because you could dip in and out. So my favorite one is called Humbug, and that's about a traveling circus. And then these murders start happening.
That's right. Yeah.
If you haven't watched it, pause the podcast, go watch it, come back. So you have all these like interesting circus people with like tattoos all over them, knocking nails into their faces. Just visually, it's a really great. Again, it's directed really beautifully because there's lots of reflection. They use the circus theme throughout. So sometimes, you know, Scully's talking to someone and you're seeing the reflection in two mirrors. And it turns out the murderer is actually this guy's brother who lives in his side. Like, there's a little childlike part of him that his head goes in him. So he's got like the brother is like growing out of him and has got a little pair of shoes on and little
it had not the
trousers.
shoes. Oh no.
It's really cute. And then so the brother is the main guy who's got the brother on him is an alcoholic, so the little brother is trying to find a new host because his liver is failing and he needs the host to live on. So he's like murdering everyone and trying to get into their bodies. And even as a very young teenager, I just thought that is brilliant because I love the dark stuff. I think one of the ones that people remember the most is Squeeze as well, which is a man that can squeeze into very small spaces.
I definitely remember that one. Yeah.
And people remember him coming out of Dana Scully's toilet. I don't think he does. I think he squeezes through, but he gets into the bathroom somehow. That's a really creepy one. And then the host as well, which is kind of like is it fluke or something? Those like worms, living people. Yeah, there's that one because you think he's dead at the end and he's been cut in half and his eyes open at the end. But even like the music of the X-Files, when you heard the music, it was kind of terrifying. I remember finishing an episode and running to my TV to turn it off because I didn't want to hear the music at the end because it was so scary.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't remember the music really impacting me that much, but that's interesting.
Oh, yeah. It was like that it built the whole atmosphere and
right.
Yeah. So those are my top 3. And then I think there's one where the guy, maybe it's Squeeze one where he's eating people's livers. There's a lot of liver eating in the X-Files.
Yeah, don't like be eating dinner while you're watching the X-Files. Like,
oh no, Scully's always in a body like dissecting or tipping the contents of a stomach out. Yeah. You don't want to be doing that.
I remember one
episode. 3 that they're my top 3. Anyway, yeah.
I remember one episode that was like kind of, I had to look it up. I think it was inspired by like a Dick Van Dyke episode, but it was like, it's called Bad Blood. And I think it was like split perspective. So it like told the same story from their unique perspectives. Do you remember this one?
I don't know.
I think it was like season 5.
Okay.
Yeah, season 5.
Do they fall out? Is that the one where they're getting the bad chemicals that's making them fall out of each other?
Oh, I don't think so. They get into it, but they get into a fight. And so it's like telling their split perspectives on like what happened. So I just like, I don't know. I like episodes that kind of like stray from the typical like format. So I thought that was cool. I thought that was a cool one.
The ones where like they have a baby together and stuff. I haven't followed that storyline. I know they have a son, but it's like an alien. I just didn't.
Yeah, it's hard when
the through line is just a bit too boring and brings it down. Like the films, like I was saying to you earlier, the films were terrible.
It's hard when you jump into a random episode of the X-Files and you're just like, I have no idea what's going on. Like they have what son? Where's the son? What's happening? Why is she in the hospital?
And I'm guessing they had to write less for her because she had 3 children during that time period as well. So there's a few times where she's been like shot from the waist up, or she's not there because she's been abducted.
Right. Oh no, Scully's been abducted again for the 3rd time. Weird.
What was interesting to me as well, because there's loads of interviews with Gillian and David talking about that time, because they had quite a fractured relationship at times. And Gillian Anderson said as well how sometimes she found who Scully was and then other times she lost it in some of the series. And I think that does come across. And sometimes there is tension. You can kind of see tension between them.
Right.
I mean, now obviously they're like besties and all over each other in interviews.
Oh my gosh, speaking of them and interviews, there's the one that I think I posted about it like a couple of years ago probably, but there's an interview where I think they're talking about women that auditioned for, I don't know if it was for Scully or if it was for another role, but it was like Gillian asked David, like, did you ever, I can't remember how she phrased it, like, did you ever go out with any of those women in the hallway? Meaning like the ones that were like auditioning or whatever. And he goes, no, did you? And she started cracking up because like, we know. We know.
Yeah, I wonder if they had, because on the cast of Friends, they had a bit of like Friends was written for Ross to be the lead.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder if they did have like who was most important within. I'm sure they did. I'll be curious as well to see the pay that they got, the wage.
Oh my gosh, I'm sure it would upset us, whatever it is.
It
But
would really upset us. Yeah. But there's a lot of comedy in it, and there's a lot of guest directors,
yeah,
which make episodes really great and standalone, and just visually knowing what I know now about story structure and the arcs and where they're taking characters. Yeah, they put a lot of money into it. It
yes.
is worth watching back. It's not a cheap production.
Well, it is funny to look back on the early effects though, because you're like, oh wow, this was people were really impressed with this back then, and you're like,
yeah.
It's giving, wow, this was the early 90s. Oh my.
And they didn't take themselves too seriously, that the comedy was written into it, which I love. The only serious ones when like people getting abducted and then there's like alien blood and I'm like, what is going on? I remember the big hype about the films and then the film came out and I'm just like,
Yeah, you're right about the comedy though. That was like, I remember really even as a kid, like I remember appreciating Gillian Anderson's unique comedic timing because it was very unique, especially for a woman. You know, it wasn't like she wasn't Lucille Ball. She wasn't like overdoing it. It was very dry. It was a dry humor that like I think was very kind of disarming for people. And you know, again, I was a kid, but I was like, I like that.
Yeah,
I like whatever she was bringing. Yeah,
funny, attractive, knowledgeable. Yeah, in Humbug episode, there's a lot of comedy, and I laughed out loud a couple of times. I thought that's such great timing. But yeah, do you think her and David ever hooked up? I don't think they did.
I think most people think that. I don't like to think about it. I'd rather not. Yeah. But, you know, I know a lot of people think that. I think a lot about who I would recast Mulder as. I did a video about that recently. But there's so many. There's so many that I could say. But of course, I think the obvious choice would be Jodie Foster because, you know, like Silence of the Lambs had just come not long before, you know, the X-Files debuted. But they were, I mean, it was a similar, you know, they were doing this essentially similar jobs and wearing similar
similar
fashion,
similar haircut.
It was similar, but I think their vibes together would have been really hot, actually.
All right, so Jodie Foster. Who else could have been cast?
I think back then, I think Laura Dern would have been good. You know, she had this sort of Jurassic Park hype around her, and she had a little bit more of a goofy, exaggerated way of showing up, you know? So I think that could have been a cool balance. What about you?
Yeah. I hadn't thought about it till I watched your video and then I was like, yeah, that's kind of perfect. Because it'd have to be someone for the storyline who believed and was a bit hippie-ish. I'll probably think of someone at like 2 a.m. tonight.
Probably. It's hard to beat Jodie Foster in so many ways, you know? And then if it was Jodie Foster, we would have had two women that are on the Sapphic spectrum.
And I rewatched season 11 lately as well, and there's so many things in it that actually exist now. It's kind of Black Mirror. It's the same sort of like robots taking over, AI.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's like a Black Mirror. And the X-Files was before Black Mirror, I think.
Yes, it was.
And it was kind of bang on, like the self-driving car, robots making the dinner.
Right.
Everything's digital because they did that kind of silent episode where they're in the sushi bar.
And what year did you say that season 11 was? What year was that?
It says 2018.
Okay. Yes, I do remember watching that season. And I had very different feelings about Scully at that point.
So when was The Fall? Yeah, it's 2013. It was the first series of The Fall, and then it did... second series was 2014, and then the next one was 2016. And that's why the little girl looks about 10 years older because she's kind of really young in the first couple. Yeah, do
Yeah.
a driving
She looks like she's
test.
about to go into high school. Uh-huh.
Yeah. But yeah, we've talked about that as well, that shift of knowing Gillian Anderson as Dana and then watching The Fall. And again, The Fall starts, I think we follow her character first. I think we get introduced to her and then we get Jamie Dornan, if I remember correctly.
It starts with Stella. Yeah. Stella's like, I think doing just like her, I think she's like doing her nightly routine or something. Like she's, if I remember correctly,
We start
but it does
with her, and thinking back, I didn't pick up on that. I like looking back, I was like, oh, the series is about him, and then when I watched it back, I was like, oh, she's a huge part of it.
Yeah, I love the perspectives. Like, I don't think I had seen a show at that point that did both, like both the serial killer and the, investigator so equally. It's like a terrifying show. Like it's jarring.
Really
but yeah, I had watched The Fall and then watched the X-Files reboot. And I was like, destroy me, step on me, run me over with a tractor. Like it was a completely different experience of Dana Scully than I remember, obviously, watching when I was growing up.
So what is it about The Fall? I mean, it's the accent. We're like, oh, she has an English accent.
That was different. The voice was a little lower, a little more like gravelly. Yeah.
Because they say gay men have the gay voice and lesbians tend to have a deeper tone to their voice, which I think is quite. I've never met a lesbian who's got a really high pitched.
Interesting. Voice. We should test that out. Now I'm curious.
Yeah. Because I think that's why Cate Blanchett is attractive because she's got that very deep voice.
Very, very.
Yeah.
But the difference that there's definitely a shift from Dana to Stella. And like, I think this just comes from like older women that have more life experience, that have more confidence around how they're showing up. She's just more, I think, rooted in her sexuality, if that makes sense. Yeah. And it's still she's still a boss, she's still doing the same things in terms of like shifting the gender norms and not being impressed by dudes and like she's the boss. She's the boss. I think there's also like an added layer of like power femme that wasn't there with Dana. She was a little bit more, I don't know how you would, if you were going to describe Dana Scully as a lesbian, like what kind of lesbian would she be? I don't know. There's a level of like femininity to Stella, and it's still power femme. It's not, it's not soft femme. But there's just something that she's just more kind of like rooted in it, if that makes sense. It makes sense to me because Dana was in her 20s. She was still
20. Yeah.
She was still figuring it out. She was,
And the voice is very different.
Yes. Very
our
different.
voices at 24 would be completely different as well. But yeah, when coming onto the screen, and like you said, that's when her height and her physicality doesn't look small. Yeah. With that character as well. She comes into a room and everybody like commands respect. And we got to talk about
commanding. Yeah,
we got to talk about two things.
Okay,
I was calling the police officer who's now like high up in the ranks, who's like totally in love with her. I renamed him Sad Badger because he was just, you got this high-ranking officer who they've got history. Because at one point he's like, "I would have left my wife and kids for you."
Yes. We understand.
It's just pathetic. Like the character is so pathetic.
We get it as Sapphic simps. Like we get it, bro. Like I understand. We feel you.
We would leave our families and change our names.
I would risk it all. I would move to the Alaskan wilderness for Stella.
I think like we've got to talk about the second thing we've got to talk about, and the main thing is the blouse.
I was gonna bring up the blouse. Don't worry about it. I was gonna I was way ahead of you.
That will be part 2.
Yes, the blouse was responsible on its own for many Sapphic awakenings. Just the blouse.
Yeah, and we're gonna deep dive on that. Let us know as well on social media which X-Files episodes did it for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious because I want to go back and like dip in and watch different ones.
Me too. No, I need to refresh.
And if the Dana Scully effect worked on you, did you go into STEM because of her? I mean, I didn't, but
And I mean, obviously, you, if you're listening to the podcast, you probably are the other half, the other,
you are
the
the other
other,
50%.
the other percentage. But if you're both, then you get bonus points.
Okay, Alexi, I think we should answer some questions that people have sent
Okay.
us.
Okay. We did get some good ones.
We did get some good ones. We did a quick shout out on Instagram last night and we got some questions sent in. Me and Alexi are well up for answering your questions. We might try and give some advice as well if that's what you need. So you can email us at thatssosapphicpodcast@gmail.com. Send us an email, or you can send a DM to the That's So Sapphic Pod Instagram, and we'll try and answer as many as we can on our episodes. So what have you got first?
Okay, so who makes hot androgynous suits? They don't want a men's suit, but also not into the Ann Taylor vibes. That's fair.
Is Ann Taylor a bad thing?
I understand what they mean. Like it's a little definitely not androgynous vibes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Wild Fang is a big deal within the Sapphic community. They design suits for androgynous bodies, for all body types. Really, really badass suits. You can typically find something for everybody. So I do love what Wild Fang is great. There's another brand that I like. I don't even know how to pronounce it, but it's ORTTU, which has a lot of androgynous options. They have suits, blazers, a lot of really cool formal wear that I love. So those would be my two suggestions.
Yeah, for my stand-up comedy, I always wear a suit, and I tend to lean towards ASOS.com, and I've got a lot of colored suits, so like blues, purples, green's my favorite, turquoise, and I always pick them up quite cheap. They do kind of the boyfriend fit or a looser fit. I also am a huge fan. I know you don't want men's suits, but honestly, if you go to the charity shops, I think they're called Goodwill in America.
Yes.
In England, they're called charity shops. I picked up, like, I saw Kate Blanchett wearing a grey. I stuttered when I was excited about just saying her name.
We all do.
Kate Blanchett was wearing a grey blazer, and that same day I saw it on Instagram. I went to a charity shop and there was one, they were having a sale rail and it was on the pound rail, and I got it and I wore it while I was doing Brighton Fringe. So if you look down my Instagram, that's the £1 jacket I'm wearing, and it is a little bit too big for me, but I just wore it as a coat over shirts and things. And I've had quite a few just like charity shop £2 blazers, and I really love them because I know no one else has got them. But yeah, have a try, see what style you like. I mean, I love a blazer with a pocket. But yeah, have a play around, and if you want to style it out as well, like if it's too big, roll up the sleeves.
Yeah, I do love a good sleeve roll up. Yeah, definitely.
Me too. So yeah, have a play around what suits your body type. And me and Alexi are quite tall, so we can kind of handle a bigger blazer, but you might need a more petite one depending on your body. Yeah, but go for it. Yeah, have a try on.
Next question. How to convert gay panic into actionable items? That's
actionable items.
If for I think the two of us, our actionable item was just make content out of it.
Is stay at home alone, make content.
Stay at home. Don't talk to anybody else. Just gay panic.
Lock the door.
Yeah. Just gay panic as your career essentially, and just put it out there. No, I'm just kidding. I mean, that is something you could do if you want to post content about it, then maybe that's for you.
I mean, social media helped my confidence, putting myself on social media as a social media Sapphic has really boosted my confidence. I mean, I don't answer any of my DMs because they're terrifying, but yeah. I think
Fair.
get the more you're exposed to people, and don't think just because it's like a lesbian community that you have to date everyone. Like, make friends with people. And
I also think that if you are looking to date, or if you're gay panic, like let's say you're gay panicking over somebody you see at an event or at the bar or whatever, I think it's really endearing when a little gay panic comes out. I think it's everybody wants to feel like they're desired. Everybody wants to feel like somebody finds them attractive. Like, that's like, what's wrong with that? And like, sometimes there's awkward charm. It's like, some people are really into awkward charm. I've dated humans before, so I know that this is true. Like, they respond to my awkward charm, and then does it last? No, I mean, who knows? But we can cut that part out.
It's staying in. It's staying.
Okay. But initially, people think it's charming, and I'm going to roll with that.
Alexi has gone bright red, by the way, for you listeners. She's having to have a beverage just to chill out. Right. Apart from famous people, has there been one huge gay panic? Because I remember this one girl, I just kind of split up from my awful ex-boyfriend, and we were in Edinburgh, and it was there's a really nice Thai restaurant. I think it's there all the time, but they have some pop-ups during the Fringe. And I went in to order, and there was she was German, and she had covered in tattoos. And I got so overwhelmed. I thought I was going to pass out. She was absolutely stunning. She took my order. She touched my arm. I don't know why. I thought I was going to collapse. And then she like brushed my arm to get past me because it was quite busy. Yeah. I thought I was going to die. And I stood outside, and my heart was like, oh my gosh. And then, because I just nearly broke up, I was like, I could date her. Yeah. Should I give her my number? Like, yeah.
I'm trying to think of my biggest gay panics that were outside of like people I don't know, or celebrities. Yeah. Well, I do. I feel like it's so easy for me because I work in theater as well. So, like some theater actors are household names, not many, right? Like some are, but anytime there's just like a woman who shows up on stage with this like presence, this sort of like power femme presence that is just like kryptonite for me, I'm just like, take me, like just take me. So that's happened many times, and I think many of these women know about it too, because now they're my friends. But it's like I've just been like, I'm just destroyed every time they show up with that. And like, typically they have that, and it's, sometimes they're like that on stage, and sometimes off stage they're a little more humble, or they're a little more, but sometimes they have both. And I don't know, that's been my sort of main source of gay panic, is being in the theater industry and having I get to watch these spectacular women all the time.
So one of my questions was, am I going to be doing a comedy outside of the UK? I'd love to. I want to go to Dublin. I would like to do America at some point. Someone asked about Scotland. Go to my website. I've got a gig list of when I'm going to be, where I'm going to be, and what I'm doing. So just, I'm working on it, is what I'm going to say. I'm working on it. But yeah, keep an eye, and I'll always post on my Instagram as well if I'm doing anything. I had a cheeky question, which was, do I ever not wear a t-shirt with Gillian Anderson or Kate Blanchett on it? And the answer is no.
Why would you?
Why would I not wear? I sleep in these t-shirts. They're from, if you don't know, they are from I've designed them. They're from my little side hustle,
Yes.
which is a small business, queer-owned female business. It's all me.
Yep.
And the t-shirts are ethical. I know exactly where they're produced. They only get printed when you order them, so environmentally friendly. They're really nice quality. And yeah, go to sohilarious.com. You can order there. I've even done a section which is for American customers as well, which keeps the shipping down. But go and have a look. Find your new gay t-shirt.
I'm about to wear the Gay for Jamie Lee Curtis t-shirt
Yes.
at a Freakier Friday screening that she's going to be
Iconic.
at. So I think that's winning. I mean, they're the t-shirts, like if they're applicable for any occasion.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you wear anything else? All of mine are in the wash, so that's the only reason why I'm tank topping it right now.
Okay. They're all lightly soiled and needed cleaning. You get a lot of attention as well. When I wore my Kate Blanchett, Gay for Kate Blanchett in Brighton, she used to live in Brighton. So people in the different shops were like, oh, she used to like come into my shop and I used to serve her. She was so amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
I went to a barbecue at her house. There's like within 20 minutes, I had 3 different Kate Blanchett stories. It was iconic.
Okay, actually, I think this feeds into another one of my questions.
Yes.
Which is how to be in contact with a community when living in places where they seem non-existent. So how to find the Sapphic community if you live in a sort of a smaller town or don't have access to a, bigger city, totally valid. Wear shirts that sort of like signal that might be a little Sapphic, like Gay for Gillian Anderson. Gay, like this is a perfect example because it's a conversation starter. So even if you think that there isn't a community where you are, you never know. The person at the checkout at the supermarket, like they might be like, oh, same, So wearing things that resonate with your level of Sapphic and letting them come to you is a really good piece of advice.
Start with a rainbow item, work your way up to a carabiner,
sure.
Then the t-shirt. If you don't want to wear gay for, I've got like artwork of like their portraits. You could just wear their face on your chest.
Why would you not want Gillian Anderson's face on your chest?
Exactly.
I said that with a straight face. You did not.
Gay panic.
Yep.
As well, like, on a serious note, like because me and Alexi do a lot of Sapphic lesbian content, I feel like our comments section has a whole community of people who are getting to know each other. They comment with each other, so you never know as well who you might meet on social media.
I've seen people really hit it off in my comments, and I'm like, go off.
Yeah.
You're having more luck than I am. Like this
funny comments as well,
beautiful.
Like hilarious. My followers leave some really funny comments, and they roast me as well.
Yes.
I get shit all the time, and I take it on the chin because it's funny. So yeah, never feel alone. There's always more community than you realize there is. So yeah, reach out, talk to people. So yes, that's part 1 of our Gillian Anderson episode. I hope you enjoyed it so far. We've still got a whole bunch more to discuss.
So much more Gillian coming your way.
Oh, more than you could ever dream of.
Just wait. I have stories.
We have so many stories. Alexi's got stories. So do follow on Spotify, follow the podcast so you don't miss any episodes. Follow us on social media. You are the Alexi Melvin, if I am correct. I am Janger's Comedy. Follow the podcast Instagram. It's That's So Sapphic Pod. Follow us on Instagram, which is at That's So Sapphic Pod. And yeah, email us with your questions and let us know what you think about our episodes, if it's nice. I don't want to hear any criticism. Sorry.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
There's no space for that.
So I've been Jane Postlethwaite.
I'm Alexi Melvin.
And we will speak to you again very soon. Thanks for listening.
Ain't it wild how a power suit can ruin your life? Red hair, one stare, and suddenly you're rewatching X-Files every night. Trust no man. Kate said try women instead. She wasn't out, but she was loud, and now we're saying it proud. That's so sapphic. She wasn't out, but my heart was in. Rachel with a sword, that was my origin. Ain't it strange how the canon forgot?